Welcome to News Watchin'. I'm Evan Baird. Since December 9th, the Buffalo Sabres have had the best record in the NHL, winning over 30 games in that span, and in their most recent homestand, they had a wild 8-7 game against the Tampa Bay Lightning that saw the Sabres take full ownership of first place of the Atlantic Division. Reporter Parker Feldman is live in Buffalo at the KeyBank Center to give some insight on the 8-7 win and the season at large. Parker?
Yeah, thanks, Evan. As you mentioned, what an unbelievable night behind me in front of a sell-out crowd at the KeyBank Center. Sunday night game, primetime atmosphere, 6 p.m. start. All of those things accounting to an unbelievable 8-7 finish in front of their home fans, the Sabres playing the Tampa Bay Lightning. And it didn't come without its ups and downs throughout the evening. The Sabres were riding a 6-game winning streak coming into tonight. They were able to extend that 2-7 as we talked about, but going into the second period, they held that early 4-1 advantage in their lead that ended up being answered quickly, though, by Tampa Bay going into the third period. 5 unanswered goals from their star players to get to a 6-4 advantage in the third. Also a 7-5 advantage later on, so 2 separate incidences of a 2-goal advantage. However, the Sabres were able to swing the final blow. 3 goals that they scored to make it an 8-7 finish. Josh Doan, in particular, a new forward for the team, had the first goal of the game all the way back at 1-0, and he scored on the power play to make it 8-7 overall. And throughout all of this, a fight night at KeyBank, as you saw, 102 total penalty minutes, as well as 5 total fights that came about a barn burner. Tampa's Brandon Hagel and Anthony Cirelli boarded Tage Thompson for Buffalo after an early first period whistle, and with Hagel attacking Sabres captain Rasmus Dahlin during that exchange, it set the tone for what came to be a huge playoff atmosphere. Hagel, in particular, for the Lightning, was somebody that had multiple roughing incidences throughout the game. For him, all of those plays ended up resulting in a $5,000 fine and a suspension that happened after the game was finalized. Evan?
Yeah, so Parker, the Buffalo Sabres were very active at the trade deadline this past season. Have we seen some of those trade acquisitions make an impact specifically in this game?
Yeah, in this game in particular, Evan, Sam Carrick, who was acquired from the Rangers, one of 4 players the Sabres got at the deadline, overall played great, especially later in the game as it came to the third period. He scored a goal in just his second game as a member of the team. He has had 5 goals in 8 games since joining the Sabres, which is the most out of any player in a new acquisition made by the franchise since 2001. And his playoff experience is something to note, as well as the other players that they brought in. These 4 have played deep into June. Championship experience as well, something the Sabres deeply, deeply lack after a 14-year playoff drought that they're looking to finally snap coming into April. These 4 guys, Carrick especially, somebody that they think they can finally help snap the drought going into April, and for the fans as a whole, really, really exciting to look forward to it. Reporting for News Watchin', I'm Parker Feldman.
Well, thanks, Parker. It sounds like there's a lot going on there in Buffalo. When we come back, local professor Pete Johans is detained outside the Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru after throwing an iced coffee at a patron that had 2 pumps of caramel in it instead of 3. Stay with us.